I'm Julie Farkas, Director of the Novi Public Library, and welcome to Let's Read. This is a new segment for the library and the Novi Community School District. Dr. Matthews is joining me today. Thank you so much.
You're welcome.
And this is your brainchild. You actually approached me a few months ago and said, how about we do some book talking for our Novi community? And of course, being the librarian, I said, why not, right?
Yeah, you did.
So what are you hoping to accomplish by doing this?
Well, my goal is to encourage our community to read, especially the students in our school district, to read as much as possible, to take advantage of the great library that we have, and to expose themselves to some of the great authors that are out there.
And I thank you so much for the opportunity to partner with you. I know we've done a lot together, so this is exciting to be doing something even more fun, if you
That's
ask
right.
me. So I know you have some titles, and what's the age group that you're kind of working on with some of the
I'm
books?
focusing on probably students in grades 4 through 8.
Okay, and I have chosen to do some picture books. You gave me the easier assignment, thank you very much. And those are for our young readers of 1 and up. Of course, we've talked, and adults can enjoy picture books just as much.
Yes, they can.
Yes, so why don't you start?
Okay.
What's your first title?
I read a book called Moo, and it's by Sharon Creech, and some of you may know her. She wrote the book Walk Two Moons, and this is a book about a family that lives in a big city, and the parents lose their jobs, and so they're driving around in traffic, and it's hot, and they're frustrated, and so the parents begin to talk about, well, why don't we move someplace? And the young girl, Rena, decides that she'll offer a suggestion, and the suggestion is move to Maine. And so they agree that they're going to move to Maine, and so they move to a small city in Maine. And so this is about cultural differences between big city and the little city.
Okay.
It's also about learning your way around a new place. It's also about new experiences, different experiences than you had when you were living in the big city. And Moo is really one of the main characters in the story is the cow, and the cow's name is Zora. And Zora is a cow that Rena ends up kind of adopting and learning how to show in the state fair, and it's really a fun book. And one of the things that makes this a fun book is that Sharon Creech uses language in really interesting ways. She makes words big or little. She squeezes the letters together. She draws them out, and so it's just a fun book to read. Because of the way that she uses the language. But in addition, it's just a great story. It's a fun story to read, has lots of adventure, and it teaches some lessons along the way. So I would encourage people to read Moo.
I love it. It sounds like a great book. Sharon Creech. Okay, Moo. So my first title is Alpha Oops, The Day Z Went First. I absolutely love this book. First of all, it's part of our 1,000 books before kindergarten, so it's on our list, and that's another program you and I are working on with the school district. And as you can see, it's got the 1,000 books label, so you can find it in the library. But what I love about this book, first of all, the colors, the illustrations are amazing. It's by Alitha Contis, and Bob Kolar is the illustrator. And the Z does not want to go and be the last in the line anymore. He does not want to be last. So, you know, A's always had number 1, and he is now picketing, and he's got Y on his side, and he's saying, nope, I want to change it up. The alphabet needs to get a little mixed up and have a little more fun. So children will love, and so will parents, reading this book and hearing about how the letters get mixed up, what the subject matter of how the letters identify themselves with different words in the story, very fun. And it takes you on a great adventure. I can't tell you what happens at the end. I don't know if the Z is still there. You'll have to read it to find out.
That sounds great.
This is by Alitha Contis. So what is your second book?
My second book is a novel by Paul Griffin. It's called When Friendship Followed Me Home. And you'll like this book because it has a librarian in it.
Ooh, I already do.
The young man in the book, Ben, he likes to go to the library after school. And the librarian is always suggesting books for him to read. But one day when he's at the library, he hears kind of a scuffle outside the door of the library, and he goes to investigate, and there's a cat he thinks attacking another cat, but in the end it's the cat is attacking a little dog, and so he shoos the cat away and tries to make friends with the dog, but the dog's very hesitant to start with. And so on his way home, he has this feeling that he's being followed, and he keeps turning around and not seeing anyone. And then he finally goes down an alley and turns around and sees the dog, but the dog won't come close. So he steps into the grocery store, and he's going by where they're testing cheeses, and he scoops all the cheese into his pocket and goes back outside and lures the dog over to him with the cheese. And from that time on, the dog follows him home and is his best friend. But the story is also about the librarian's daughter and lessons being learned about life and friendship and how to kind of develop your dreams and live your dreams. And so it's a really good story, and I would really encourage people to read it. It's by Paul Griffin, When Friendship Followed Me Home.
That sounds great. We're going to take a break. Thank you for joining us.
Connor is struggling in school.
Finding lowest airfare to Istanbul.
Why don't you understand me?
I do. This is what it feels like for kids with learning and attention issues. Redirecting to understood.org.
Hi, thanks for joining us with Let's Read. I'm Julie Farkas from the Novi Library, joined by Dr. Matthews, Superintendent of Novi Community Schools, and this is our opportunity to do some book talking with you. So my first book that I'm going to share with you is called I Will Love You Anyway. It's by Mick Inkpen and illustrated by Chloe Inkpen. Now, here's the best thing I think about this book is that Chloe is Mick's daughter.
Oh, how fun.
So she is the illustrator of this wonderful story, and it is about a very, very crazy dog. Not just crazy, but also a dog with some behavioral issues. Okay. Yes. Doesn't really listen to the owners, not always following direction. If you can imagine what that's like, I know I've had a dog in my home that sometimes wasn't always the best behavior. Mm-hmm. So this is what this story is about, which brings a lot of laughter and a lot of fun as you continue to read through the pages. What you'll appreciate, though, through this book is the friendship of the young little boy who's the owner and the dog and how things end up at the end. Yeah. So we definitely want all of you to try I Will Love You Anyway by Mick Inkpen.
Sounds like a great book.
It does. Now, you have another book for me.
I have another book, Raymie Nightingale by Kate Dicamillo, and she wrote Winn-Dixie and The Tale of Despero.
Great books.
And so I would encourage people to read this. This might especially appeal to girls because it's about three girls and who become friends. The girl, Ramey, her father leaves the family, and so she devises a plan to get him back. She's gonna win a beauty contest.
Okay.
And so she has to learn how to twirl a baton, and she meets two other girls there, and one of the girls is gonna sabotage the contest, and so. But in the end, it's really about these three girls figuring out how to be friends with one another and support one another and help each other kind of achieve their goals. And
so I love that.
It's a great story, and it's really about things that happen one summer when they're together trying to figure out how to be friends with each other.
That sounds like a great book.
So Raymie Nightingale by Kate Dicamillo.
Wonderful. And my last book to share it covers the senses. So obviously, hearing, smelling, see, touch, and taste. This is called I Hear A Pickle, and Smell, See, Touch, and Taste It Too by Rachel Isadora. Rachel has been writing children's books for years. Lots of great things that you'll find. If you like this book, you'll find others by her. I'm going to read one tiny piece of it because I think it's just a fun, and it is at the end, a fun part. It says, I taste the pickle, it's sour. I smell the pickle, it's spicy. I see the pickle, it's green. I touch the pickle, it's slippery. I hear the pickle, crunch. So definitely all of your senses. For a young person, when you're reading this with mom or dad or an adult, there's a lot of different things that you're going to catch, hearing, seeing, smelling, all the things that they identify through the book. I love it because there's a lot of fun illustrations and definitely a fun read. So we hope that children will pick this one up from the library as well.
That's great.
Dr. Matthews, I want to thank you so much for joining me on our first segment of Let's Read. I know that we'll be back, and you'll have more great titles, and so will I. So until then, thank you so much for joining us for Let's Read.